to the Store Manager Academy. We are in week 1, lesson 5. We're going to talk about the proper way of letting someone go and when you should fire somebody. And that's the first question I have for you today. When should you fire someone? It's a hard question to answer, right? And it seems like there really isn't the best answer. That's a one-size-fits-all. But it's important to point out that anyone that you let go should not be surprised by your actions. When termination is necessary, it's important that it's done with a professional manner, with dignity, but they should not be surprised by your actions, right? You should have a documented plan through this whole process, and that last breaking point where you put them on a training plan of action or an improvement plan, and the consequences of them not meeting those expectations would be being let go, then it shouldn't be any surprise to them. Now, I want to put a strong emphasis on documenting everything, even the small stuff. No manager has a good employee that intends to fire them just 2 months later. But things can change. An employee's motivation and their drive can change. And if you aren't holding your people accountable, it's going to be a lot more difficult to get rid of a sour apple. Now, I'd like to cover a few reasons why you should let someone go and the proper way of doing it. First, you have those types of people that are refusing to correct poor behavior. If you have someone that is refusing to follow the written rules and has been given ample time to correct, it's time to let them go. Be sure to document the journey every time. Then you have your negative Nancy. If you have someone that daily speaks poorly of the company and other team members, and you have privately discussed with them that their behavior is not allowed, and it continues, it's time to let them go. Negative people are like poison, and they can quickly turn half of your team against you in a matter of weeks. Don't put off firing the negative Nancy. I remember I had one manager, she was struggling with one of her employees. He was actively working against the company, talking poorly, not just about the manager, but about the whole organization, to every associate that would lend him an ear. And to every customer he interacted with, he talked poorly about the company. So the moment I walked into that store, the store manager and we grabbed that associate and we let him go on the spot, no questions asked. And luckily, that manager had put that associate on a paper trail. She was documenting everything, so kudos to her. Now you have the next type of person that you should really consider letting go is your anti-productivity practitioner. You know who they are. They don't and can't get their work done because of this reason and that. They are excessive at incomplete tasks, and they put no effort on anything that they do. Don't let these employees stick around for very long, or they will undermine your goal of building a high-performance team. Get rid of those anti-productivity practitioners. Next, you have your drama queens. Oh, I know you have some drama queens in your organization. Hopefully you don't have one in your store. These employees thrive on the destruction of anything you're trying to do to correct. And anything you're trying to correct in your store, these drama queens are working against you. They want to throw gasoline on the fire and watch it burn. Don't allow drama queens to have a place on your team. Get rid of them. Then you have people, obviously, that are major violation breakers. And sometimes the 3 strikes rule does not apply to these people. These are people, that stole from you, physical threats and harm to others, and so on. Most company handbooks have these listed in bold and require, for you to partner with HR. So those major violations. You should definitely get to know your handbook and your HR policies. Then you have my favorite one, the last type of person, the Bulletproof Patty. Do you have a Bulletproof Patty in your organization? We all have one employee that comes to mind that we know deserves to be fired. I remember the first time I met with the CEO of one of the past companies I worked for, and he asked me what store I took over. And after telling him, the CEO immediately said, "You know that department manager, Sally?" I was like, "Yes." "Please fire her, and when you get back to your store." I was just completely shocked. Look, determining the need and time to fire an employee is difficult and necessary, not only for your company, but often for your employees themselves. When it's time to terminate, make it a quick and painless procedure, but it must happen. Just like when that CEO asked me to fire that manager, I followed his directive and I let go of that employee, and our store was better for it because I found out weeks later all the things that were happening in that store because of her that was causing some major issues. Always fire based on, you should always consider performance when you're firing someone. It's difficult to let someone go on performance, but if you're able to build a performance improvement plan where you have some measured goals and certain tiers that they have to hit, then it's easier to let some of your people go on their poor performance. Really, that's letting go people in a nutshell. The things you should be looking for as a brand new store manager. If you make the mistake that most new managers make in not letting some of these people go that we just discussed, it's really going to hurt your business. It's going to hurt the morale of your store, and you're going to lose a lot of customers. I've used this analogy many times. If you have one employee that's working part-time, let's just say 25 hours a week, they're working 3 to 4 days a week, and let's say they interact with about 100 customers a day. Well, if they're working about 3 to 4 days a week, that means they are negatively impacting about 400 customers per week. And then if they are and then 2 weeks, that's 800 customers. And then within a month, that's over 1,600 customers. 1,600 customers, one employee could be negatively impacting. Imagine if you had 2 or 3 of those employees. Don't let these types of people that are undermining your authority, working against you, working against your company, don't let them work for you. Get them off your team and start working on finding the right people that are going to be part of your high performance team. Thank you for watching this lesson. I look forward to seeing you in the next lesson. And don't forget to jump on our weekly conference calls where if you have a unique situation where maybe an employee is just not doing what they're supposed to and you're not sure where to go at this point and what steps you should follow, jump on the conference call, send that question in to me, and I'll be sure to answer it directly. Also, join our Facebook group where you can interact with other store managers that are going through this training, and you guys can all learn from each other. We want a strong community around you to help you become a better store manager and a great leader. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next module.